Good morning, everyone. I'm Anthea. Today, we would like to talk about English in post-colonial Hong Kong and Brunei. The presentation will cover the role of English in the domains of education and employment for both areas. Then, we will compare the key English-related developments in Hong Kong with those of Brunei. Finally, we will briefly conclude our significant findings. Let's begin with the part of Hong Kong. First of all, I would like to give you some background information about the history of Hong Kong. It was a British colony from 1841 to 1997. After 150 years of British control, the sovereignty was returned from Britain to China. Under British governance, Hong Kong was gradually moving from a manufacturing base to a service and knowledge-based society, which required a higher education level of people. Here comes our question. How does this influence the education domain after the handover? The answer is that the tertiary education sector in Hong Kong has experienced a substantial expansion from elite to mass education in the past 30 years. Although the whole education level of Hong Kong was raised, the policy brought with it some negative impacts on the perceived status of university students in general. Even though there is a much wider spectrum of the student population who receive a university education, the expectations of the university graduates' language abilities and communication skills of English in the workplace still remain high. This causes fresh graduates hard to find a job. At the same time, many degree holders are competing for jobs requiring lower qualifications. Furthermore, the changes in the Hong Kong industry also require people to have a higher level of proficiency in English and Putonghua in accordance with globalization. A policy that the government implemented correspondingly is the biliteracy and trilingualism policy. Together with the 9-year compulsory education policy since 1978, Chinese Hong Kongers have acquired basic literacy skills in English. However, despite being a co-official language, English functions more like a foreign than a second language in Hong Kong. Most people are reluctant to use English entirely as the medium of communication among themselves. Instead, English is more often used as a mixed code when people converse with one another in Cantonese. Cantonese English code mixing is ubiquitous in Hong Kong society, and yet it is widely perceived as indicative of the speaker's or writer's inability to use pure Chinese or English. Therefore, it is strictly forbidden in schools after the handover. According to the Education Bureau guideline, EMI and CMI teachers need to stick to English and Chinese respectively. Nevertheless, the guideline removes one important teaching resource at the disposal of bilinguals, especially EMI teachers. They find it hard to clarify difficult concepts to low proficiency students and help build rapport by reducing social distance with pure English. On the other hand, CMI teachers cannot introduce or consolidate students' bilingual lexicon. One of the important findings is that code switching can be EMI-induced. This helps explain the following policy. To strive for a reasonable balance between Chinese and English and meet the steady demand for the balanced bilinguals in the post-colonial society, the Hong Kong government enforced the mother tongue education policy. After the handover, only 30% of secondary schools have the right to remain English medium, while the rest must change to Chinese medium. However, the policy violates social equity as it perpetuates uneven access to the predominant symbolic capital, English, to the disadvantage of children from socioeconomically underprivileged families. Moreover, the dual streaming policy was criticized for causing socially divisive. Those who fail to get a place in an English medium school may be seen as incompetent and labeled second class. The root of the problem is that in Hong Kong, Chinese and English are unequal partners, where English is perceived to be more prestigious with the tremendous added value, which is crucial for anyone eager to move up the social ladder. Although there are benefits of being educated in one's mother tongue, there are also undeniable potential gains in target language proficiency for those receiving instruction in English. The problem is also reflected in the domain of employment. I'll now pass the time to Sophia to discuss it.